Hey everybody, welcome back into another video. Today I'm so excited we're going to be taking a look at a fantastic line by the master young saxophonist Sam Dillon, and I'm going to tell you about a transcription project that I've been working on Sam with for about a year that is finally about to come out and how you can get your hands on it. So if y'all have never heard of Sam Dillon, you are missing out. Fantastic tenor player out of New York, literally playing with everybody in the city. One of the best saxophone players on the planet. We're going to take a look at an excerpt from his solo on his tune called Out in the Open, which is actually the title track off of a record that I have transcribed the entirety of. Sam and I have been working on this project for about a year, making sure all the transcriptions are accurate, and we have just released it as an ebook, which will give you a transcription of every tune off of his record Out in the Open. And let me tell you, through transcribing this stuff and studying it, my playing has gone through the roof. And I'm sure that if you pick up this book, you are going to get some fantastic results for yourself. So I'll give you a little bit more info on where you can get that ebook at the end of the video. But for now, let's jump into this excerpt from Sam's solo, where he uses these melodic cells and really creates an excellent sound in terms of kind of ignoring the chord changes and instead playing this overarching structure that we're going to talk about that is very effective and something that you can work into your playing. So without any further ado, let's check out the excerpt and then we're going to talk about it. Now, don't blink because this excerpt goes by really fast. Sam has some of the most incredible technique that I've ever heard from any musician, and he really shows it off during this little excerpt here. So I'm going to play it a couple times because it goes by so fast, and then we're going to jump into the PDF and break it down. All right, so let's take a peek at what Sam is doing here that makes this such a fantastic line. So you'll notice that there's some color coding. I've got some notes coded in blue and I've got other notes coded in red. Let's talk about what those are and why I have color coded those. So what we start with is this 6-note melodic cell that he plays right here on the and of 1. So it's a 6 notes and the sequence of notes is D up to G, down to E, to D, to C, to A, and then you will notice that he plays it again, and then he plays the same 6 notes a third time. So there's what the first cell sounds like. Now the second cell, what he does is he takes the exact same pattern, but he transposes it up a minor third. So now the 6-note cell is F to B flat to G to F to E flat to C, and then he plays that exact same cell one more time. Then what you're going to notice that he does is he goes back to the original cell. So back to the D, G, E, D, C, and then he starts it again, but then he stops and he kind of blasts off into the universe and does something completely different here. But I want you to notice that he's kind of ignoring the changes here, right? He's playing the same thing over the G minor 7 chord as he's playing over the A minor 7 chord. Then he switches it up, transposes it, and then when the D7 chord hits again, he switches back. So the effectiveness of this is that you hear this cell, your ears get used to it, and then all of a sudden he transposes it, and this is actually pretty out over A minor 7, isn't it? Right? These are some notes that definitely don't fit over A minor 7, and that's part of what makes it so effective. Your ear does not go, wait, those notes don't fit. It goes, oh, he just took that idea he was playing and started playing it in a different key. A very effective way to change things up and create a different texture and sound. Now, the second thing that makes this so effective is that it's a 6-note cell, which means that it's not going to line up perfectly every beat. So he starts on the end of one, plays the 6 notes. The next one does start on the beat. It starts on beat 3, but then it doesn't line up. The third time he plays the cell, it starts on the and of 4. Then the next one starts on beat 2. The next one starts on the and of 3, and then the next one starts on the downbeat. So he's also kind of messing with your conception of where this little idea, this little cell, begins and ends. So with the combination of playing it in 2 keys and then playing a number of notes that doesn't line up with each beat, he's creating this really, really cool effect. Now you will notice that I have included the end of the phrase. There's a lot of fantastic stuff in here too when it comes to chromaticism and outlining different shapes over one chord, but we're not gonna go into that. That would take too long to talk about. This is the part of the phrase that I want you to focus on. So let's check out Sam playing it one more time and really listen for those combination of things that we just talked about. See if you could start to hear that and why it's so effective. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully you can gain something out of that on how to use those melodic cells to maybe sort of float over the top of the chord changes and create a new effect, a new texture in your playing. This can be a fantastic way to do that. So if you'd like to get the transcriptions from Sam's album out in the open, as well as a full-length interview with Sam about this record, his playing, his background as a musician, some of the things he thinks about that make him better at the saxophone, you can find that by clicking on the link below this video and getting your copy today. As I said, Sam and I have really been laboring over this project, and I'm so excited to finally release it to the world, and I'm sure you're going to get so much use out of this. There's so much vocabulary that you can take and study and integrate into your own playing. So this is not something that you want to miss. Again, the link will be below the video. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Ask me any questions that you might have in the comments below. And I'm really excited for you to get your hands on this book. We'll talk to you in the next video. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.